Hello, I'm Dean Lawrence, and this is
Jordan A. Smith.
And we are back with Talk Back for Teens, discussing food.
Yep. So we have discussed food all through this segment, but I wanted to bring in 3 other factors: anorexia, bulimia, and obesity. And so for our viewers at home who do not know what those are, anorexia is a mental disorder where someone starves themselves. Bulimia is a mental disorder where someone eats or gorge themselves with food and then make themselves throw up or use laxatives to defecate it out. Obesity is just excessive eating of food.
I know we've gotten better at it like recently, but I kind of feel like people, their definitions of obese, it shouldn't, like, before it was just based on one like body type. You should be this amount of weight, this age, no more, no less. But then you gotta take into factor, like account, like how tall the person is, how muscular they are, how athletic they are, and all that. And it's like,
Do you feel the BMI does not do an efficient
no, that's why I
job
said
of that?
we've gotten better at it over the years. Because before it was just like everyone had to look like this, but it's sort of like if you're more muscular and you're like have a little bit extra weight on you, that doesn't like you wouldn't be actually considered obese. So we have gotten better at it, but it's sort of like I feel like if you have like, you know, you always have those stories or those movies where it has, you know, the short chubby kid, and it's just like, you know, they're eventually gonna get tall and the weight's gonna go out. So it's not. So it's like, should you really talk about them as, you know, refer to them as obese if it's like, you know, like it could be like an unnatural weight, but it's sort of like how far, like sometimes you wonder like how far like is it to the point where you can say I'm getting obese or I'm overweight, and it's like it's sort of like hard to say that now with all the different factors that go into determining that.
I definitely agree with Shantanique that it's really hard to characterize people in their body weight and their height. It'd be like comparing Shantanique and I. Our body types are completely different.
Okay.
And yet neither one of us are obese.
Exactly, and I think that it's hard to compare people, especially people who have weaker frames, people, you know, with weight issues are all different. And I think the United States has this ideal weight that's a little unrealistic. Or maybe it's not necessarily the United States, but the people themselves. I think they're uninformed about what is healthy for them. And that comes with underweight and overweight. I think a lot of people have this idea, the perfect height is 5'6" and 110 pounds. Well, that's actually really unhealthy. It's an unhealthy weight. So I don't think people recognize exactly what is healthy and what isn't healthy. And I think that especially when you're in the athletic world, they do a lot to try to encourage you, okay, we want to get stronger, we want to put on more muscle. And especially for people that are suffering from anorexia, they see muscle, more weight, less fat, but they still see themselves on the scale as, okay, muscle weighs more than fat, I'm weighing 5 pounds more. Why am I 5 pounds more? I've been working out, I'm starving myself, but why am I 5 pounds more? Well, because muscle weighs more than fat. And I think it's hard for people to recognize, especially when they're trying to lose weight and they reach their point where they've lost, 30 pounds, and then they're starting to put weight on. It's because they're getting muscle now, you know? So I think it's hard, especially for people to recognize what is healthy and what isn't healthy. And you have people that are struggling to identify that themselves, you know? It's really tough and debatable, you know, because everyone's so different. Shantanique is much taller than I am. She has much more, a different type of figure, you know. I have a little bit more of an athletic build. She's a little bit more buxom than I am, you know. So it's different. We're absolutely different. It wouldn't be fair to compare us and say we're in the same category because we're not.
I really like your guys' take on that. Family members, your friends, people that you know have relationships with food, maybe unhealthy, maybe healthy. Do you know anyone that have any of the 3?
I think I think I know someone that isn't anorexic but has anorexic tendencies.
Okay.
From what I mean, like they won't eat for days, or they'll try crash diets, or they'll try strange things. And I'm not gonna. And as an athlete, especially one I did figure skating and gymnastics for when I was younger. You were pressured to try a lot of different things. And they just wanted you to try to be as thin as you could be and as healthy, and that's really dangerous.
Yeah.
I know I've seen the raspberry ketone diet. I've I was actually
It's
forced
a
to try that,
million
actually.
diets out there.
I actually was, and you take like a raspberry ketone, it's supposed to break down your stuff. Tried it like twice. It's not for me. It was disgusting. You have one pill. I'll never do it. It's weird. I looked at it. I was just kind of like, okay, this is maybe not for me. And I don't do that anymore. Not that in general. I just don't do the sports. It's too, those sports are just, they're too pressure stereotypes. It's all about being perfection in the sport, but it's also about when you're wearing a leotard that's so small and you can't really have any
Can't have any
anything.
extra skin.
I'm not saying that I do, but I'm just saying
You
that.
can't have like a little piece of flab there or anything. It has to be.
Well, I'm not even
nice,
talking about that. I'm
sculpted.
talking about your legs.
Yeah, I'm saying you gotta be like
everything.
sculpted and everything.
My good friend
Like,
Danielle is a gymnast, and she's very buxom, like very, very. And it's hard for her, especially her coaches don't encourage her to play. She has to wear like 3 sports bras just to run. Yeah, like it's really difficult for her. And it's really hard for her to fit in. A lot of coaches will look at her and say, we don't want you, or you need to lose weight, and she's perfectly normal. She's just very large chested.
I like you guys' perception though. Healthy is what healthy is to you. Everyone's healthy is pretty different, but people's relationship with food is usually how I define it. And growing up as a young adult, I guess I matured quicker, and I would go on crash, like when I was in elementary school, I would go on crash diets every other week. And it never was successful. Luckily, I could not go a day with only eating ice, but like I remember, I'll never forget the day. Seriously. I wrote it out. I had a journal, and I'm big on journaling. And so I wrote it out. Okay, today I'll eat a pack of noodles. Tomorrow I'll eat water. Next day I'll have some ice. But I always left Sundays free because my family is, as I said, we're big on going out to eat because we don't really cook a lot. But I left Sunday free because my mom always wanted to go out to eat Sunday after church. And little did I know that was the worst way to lose weight. It was never going to happen because I was going to starve myself and then on Sunday pig out, and so my body was going to keep all of that. But everyone has to learn how to navigate through themselves, and it's all trial and error. We're all talking about losing weight, but our dear friend, former host of this show, Tiana Manning, is a little on the petite side, and she wrote a great article. I really want you guys to go and read it. She wrote a great article concerning skinny girls in the big girls world, as far as like curves and how a lot of men are attracted to more curvier women, and she thinks she lacks that. So it's a really, really, really good article. Please go to our website, talkbackforteens.com, and read that.
My mom and my dad are like complete opposites.
Yes.
My dad,
Very true.
huge, very tall, 6'6", skinny stick bug. And then with my mom, she's more, heavy set, she's a little bit shorter, not that, she's like 5'5", a little bit shorter, thicker. And it's like 2 different body types. And it's like my little sister, she got all my dad's genes. So she's, tall. She just turned 10, last week. She's tall. She's really, really skinny. And she's like, man, she's always squeezing her legs like, man, I don't have no skin on my bones. And I was just like, oh, you have, I'm like, oh, Tantra, you're fine. You're fine. You'll grow into it. You're fine. You eat right. It's okay. Like she even told me like, oh, the doctor told me I was underweight for my age because I guess she came home and she's like 70 pounds. Wow. And it's just like, it's all about like your genetic makeup. Like you can't help if you just happen to be really, you could be like the worst eater in the world, like have the worst eating habits, like eat nothing but crap and junk food and be like thin, but that wouldn't constitute you as being healthy.
Yeah.
It's all about like the inside of your body rather than what you look like on the outside.
Oh,
I do think though that a lot of people have this perception for themselves that they want to be this really tiny self. They want to be very thin. They want to be unhealthy, and it's just unrealistic for themselves. But then they also have other people that eat whatever they want, and I don't know how they do it, honestly. They eat whatever they want, and it's chips, it's potato chips, it's French fries, it's burgers, it's all these unhealthy things, and they're gaining tons of weight about it, and they're getting obese, and it's okay with them. I don't know. I would never want to go through that just because of the medical circumstances that come around. My family has a rich history of diabetes, and I just don't want to experience that. So
yeah.
It's really important for me to eat healthy, and I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe you could explain.
I think it's interesting that you know, like she was saying about the article with Tiana, how she's feel pressure because she's skinny. You know, she, you know, it's a kind of a peer pressure that comes with that, you know, about wanting to be a little bit more curvier, because a lot of men are attracted to a little bit more curvier women. But now we have, on the other hand, a lot of females who wish they were her size. They wish they could go in and fit in her shoes. And so it's kind of like, you know, where does that balance come? You know, what is if there is a right way to be? Is there a right way to be? And if it's so, what is that right way to be?
No, please say no. There's absolutely no right way to be.
Yeah, because it's sort of like you could never win. Like,
You can't.
well, I want to be curvy like you, but you want to be thin like me, and I want to be a little thicker than like you. I
tripped out when I read that article.
And it's just like, well, you know, you are, you know, the way that you are. You're made the way you are. And all you can do is make sure that what's inside you, as far as what you're putting inside your body, what you're eating, is a lot better than what you see on the outside. You know, you can always, you know, work out, all that, you know, keep the body in shape, but looking at the shape on the outside, to make sure like what you're putting on the inside is pretty good and pretty decent. And it's just like, you can't, you know, it's like everybody, like with the Weight Watchers commercial. And Jennifer Hudson, she was like, you know, really had to be set, and all of a sudden, you know, I like my curves and everything. And then I saw a week later one from an actual person that tried it, and she's like, the main thing I like is that I gained a bigger butt. And it's like, some girls are like, man, I wish I had a big butt. And it's just like, you can't always have, you know, certain things like that. And so you can't always have, you know, the perfect hourglass shape and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think that it depends on what industry you're doing too, because everyone desires something body type wise. Maybe the girl wants to have more boobs, or more of a butt, or more curvy, or more straight, or thinner, or larger, is in Tiana's idea. But who knows? Everyone has this idea of perfection, and I think it's really tough because the media kind of goes into this idea of what we're supposed to look like. If you go into modeling agencies, they want their girls to not have shapes at all, you know, and they design clothes. So it's like, where do we fit in? Where does this idea of perfection fit in if we have these skinny models that have no chest, no boobs, no butt, no nothing, and they're designing the clothes for them. So we finally get the area that we want. Maybe we get, you know, you have these people that go through and will have butt surgery or boob, or you know, they get fake boobs put in, and then they can't fit in the clothes they want anyway. But they now have this new asset that they paid thousands of dollars for, and their shirt won't button like it used to. And how does that make them feel better? I don't think personally it would make me feel better, but I don't know. I would love to hear what you say. So.
I love what you said about the balance of the two. The reason why I went on so many crash diets when I was in elementary school was I began to get limited to, in Delilah's, or Delia's, I believe it's pronounced, their ads. And all their models are like this, and they're all beautiful. They're all very beautiful. But then I would go back and forth because Beyonce was around at that time. Raven Simone was around at that time. And these are full-figure, curvy women, not, you know, extremely full-figure, but they were very curvy women. And it's like, well, which one do I be? Which one should I choose? Because it seems like the media accept both, but the media is not accepting me. Which one, where you know, where do I fit? Which one am I closer to achieving? Which one is actually my possibility? So do you guys feel any way pressured by the media as far as look, weight, curve, food?
Let's see. So, yeah. So I see what you mean by that, and it's like, you know, I could see the same thing, because at first, you know, all it was, you know, thin, really tiny. Like, even with my friend who, you know, wanted to apply to Hollister, it's like you have to have like a certain, you know, body build. Like, you never see them put anyone, like when they have, like, you get bags, like the little gift bags from like Abercrombie, you never see no one with like a fat stomach in it. They have like full
Beautiful
6,
bags.
8-pack abs, and it's like, it's like, really, like, is this really, like, no one, as far as I can see, the people I've seen shop there, it's like, I haven't seen anyone with rock hard abs go through, like, you know, store, oh, you know, let me buy myself a t-shirt. And it's like, when he applied there's like, oh, you know, you're really tall. That could be really nice because, you know, I'm tall, you know, attractive, whatever. And it's like, oh, you're thin and muscular at the same time. And it's just like, yeah, we want that. And it's just like.
Wait, they went through these requirements at an interview? Like, his body built?
Like, they, like, with, like as far as, like, looking, like, having, like, a nice body, everything. Like, he's
having
like, yeah.
the look.
Yeah, he's like, oh, man. He's like, yeah. She's like, he's like, yeah, the woman told me I had a nice look. And it's just like,
Wow.
what exactly does she mean by that? Because you are, you know, tall and muscular. So it's like, you look like the guys that are on the bags, you know, perfect body, like muscular, everything. So it's like, man, I guess you do have the look. So it's like, what exactly are we supposed to, you know, reach out to? Because, you know, a lot of people, you know, you can be curvy, you can be thin, and you have to love you for you. And it's like, the media is like, oh, you have to have, you know, big butts, and you have to have big boobs, and, you know, that make you perfect, and that'll make you attractive. And it's just like, even with guys, you have to have abs, you have to be tall, you can't be like short and fat, because, you know, girls not going to want you. And it's just like, you know, like they say, everyone needs love, and everyone gets love. Everyone has
Everyone
someone
needs love.
for them, and it's like, you can't have someone love you for you if you don't love you for you.
Yeah, I think it's hard too because a lot of girls, they're reaching to find some sort of who they want to be. And the hardest part is the media is influencing us so much. We go shopping, we're on television,
Yeah, especially
everywhere,
women.
movies, everywhere. And this is the time,
Facebook.
especially Facebook, yeah. Everywhere we go, like, we see these idealism, you know, the curvy girl that has the big butt and the nice chest, or the teenage thin girl. It's everywhere. And how are we supposed to react to this? You know, are we supposed to be like them? I completely see what you've been through. I've been through both. It's really hard. I have an athletic body, so it's really hard for me to, I'm not curvy, I'm just athletic. I have kind of lean muscles, I guess. I've never been called skinny. I've always been the lean girl. I don't even know what that means. Is that like a nice way to call you thin? Like, I don't
skinny?
know. You know, I don't know what it means, but it's what they do. And I think there's always these different names to try to cover up to make you feel better, kind of. But then we have to remember, these girls that we're supposed to be looking up to, what are they doing with their lives? We look at Beyonce. She is a phenomenal dancer and singer. She probably works out, I don't know, 5 days a week. Is that something
dancing makes her sweat too?
you know what I mean?
so-
Is that attainable for me?
That's her job.
I don't know. That's
we
a
have to
job.
yeah, we
you
have
know
to
what I mean?
consider that.
Or these other models, they're being paid to look perfection. They have, you know, software to make their hair look not frizzy. They have, if they have a zit, I'm sure they have acne product that they're on, or some sort of lip balm to not get chapped lips like mine. But you know what I mean? There's always different things that you can do to fix that we don't recognize because we don't see. We see the finished product. We see something like in an art piece. You don't see the steps going towards it.
Good. Good. Dean, do you have anything to say about that on the man's perspective?
I know that when I got to make this short, we only have a couple of minutes left, but, you know, as far as the way we view people, if I'm hanging out with certain friends, it's just, and it's a subconscious thing, you know what I mean? There's almost like a, you know, if there's a woman that is, you know, a different body type than, you know, you would normally expect, you know, it's almost like they don't get as much attention as a certain body type, you know what I mean? If, you know, so it's almost like that, but then there's no set figure, because me and my friends have arguments all the time. It's like, what, you like that? Like, what's, you know, no, like, you know, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, I think the key is to just be comfortable in your skin, but that's always said, but we still have a problem. We still have girls trying to look like these models who are sculpted, you know, with video imaging programs and stuff like that. And, you know, then they're trying to attain this look that's impossible to attain because it's a drawing, you know, somebody made this, a computer generated image. And so I think it's just, you know, it's just a constant battle we're going through to just remind ourselves that we are who we are.
Alrighty, this is Talk Back for Teen. I'm Jordan A. Smith.
I'm Dean Lawrence.
And if you're wondering how to connect with us, you can connect with us anywhere. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram. And also, never forget to check us out on our website, talkback4teens.com. That is 4, the number 4. Thank you.
Listen, I only know spending time away. I only know the truth is spoken best when brutally. So honestly, I'll let you know you set the standards lyrically for me. One single middle finger saying raise it up. My speech will always be free. Like Martin Luther King, you had meaning to me. Single-handedly saving music, starving industry. A hip-hop legend with skin like invisible ink. Like even though he was whiter than me, He was the first to be colorless, speaking for all of us. And then you let us into your family, mother, father, brother, sister, wife, daughter, damn right in front of me. That's when I miss my daughter desperately. Your mockingbird put dents in me. While touring press and reliving my song Hate Me, I was losing custody. I never even saw that.
What are you doing on Facebook?
Played me and planned and saw that fit to turn the trick, that financially she would benefit. My first and probably only Billboard hit was gonna pay for my 2-year-old's college. I should have hid that shit so she couldn't spin that shit. It took 20 years of working just to earn that. Now word for word I have listened, heard, and I'm done. But you don't know, you act like you believe it, that you're in control. It's just your legal system, though, that they don't think about you, no, they don't care about you. Now every man in America take back your control. You don't know, you act like you believe it, that you're in control. It's just your legal system, though, that they don't think about you, no, they don't care about you. Now every man in America take back your control. So I kept my business quiet, just like my lawyer said. And I tried to focus all my anger in my work instead. I was succeeding and self-reliant, but inside my soul was dead. I had to be the sole provider, but not allowed to be the dad. Literally they took her from me.